Hi, I'm here to talk to you about commas, and hopefully this will help you with your workbook pages and also, of course, in your writing. So I have up here, it says use commas with, and then I have a list of things that you need to use commas with. I'm going to go through these one by one. Use commas with words or phrases in a series. So I give you a couple of examples here. Red, comma, yellow, comma, and blue. Don't forget to put the comma before the and, as well as between the other things in your series. The next one says to the bank, comma, to the market, comma, and to the gas station. And so we have 3 prepositional phrases with the commas between each one, including before the and. We need to use commas also with introductory words or phrases. For example, Diego, you are funny. So if I'm talking to someone, the technical word for that is, or term for that is direct address. If I'm talking to someone and I use that person's name, or if I'm talking to my dog or cat or whatever, and I use the name of who I'm talking to, then the comma goes after that. Diego, comma, you are funny. And then, hey, that's mine. So I have a mild interjection there. That means I don't really want to put an exclamation point there, but it's just sort of an expression. Hey, that's mine. And then also with an introductory phrase like this one, whistling happily, she skipped away. So we have a participial phrase that introduces the sentence, and that needs a comma after it. Okay. Introductory prepositional phrases of more than 5 words. If you're writing a sentence with a prepositional phrase at the beginning and it's fewer than 5, maybe 3 or 4 words, so from my room, I heard the car come. I don't really need a comma after from my room. But here it says, with a gleeful shout and a wave of his hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words in that prepositional phrase, comma, the winner stepped up. So yeah, we should put a comma after that just to make sure that whoever is reading it understands what we're saying. In that sentence, it wouldn't be that much of a problem, but in some sentences, these commas really do help with understanding. My rule of thumb is about 5 words. Okay, I may not need a comma, but more than that, probably do. Introductory clauses. If Michael stays, I'll stay. So if Michael stays is an introductory clause, or you could call it a condition. Since I was little, I've loved that. So those things are introductory clauses, and they need commas. I need to say also that if you switch the order and put the clause, the dependent clause, if Michael stays at the end, I'll stay if Michael stays, then you don't need a comma. You should already know this, but this is a review. Interrupters, I want that puppy, comma, the one in the middle, comma, to be my very own. So I'm using this phrase here. It's an appositive phrase in this case, and I'm using it as an interrupter. So I need commas around it, but the exception is that if it's a restrictive interrupter, then you don't need a comma or commas. My friend Gracie was interviewed yesterday. She was actually on Hoy en Talanga. But anyway, I have more than one friend, believe it or not. So Gracie restricts the meaning of my friend to one person and not any friend of mine. So it needs no commas. Combining sentences with coordinating conjunctions. Remember coordinating conjunctions? You can use this memory device fanboys to remember which conjunctions are coordinating conjunctions for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. I don't know why I did that. I have ended up with 5 and there are actually 7. Anyway, I'm getting tired. Let's see. He did not eat anything, nor did he drink. So with the word nor, combining these 2 independent clauses, we need the comma before the word nor. By the way, when we use the word nor, generally the sentence after it, or the clause after the word nor, takes a different form, and I showed you that here. It's a little bit odd, and we don't use this construction with the word nor that often, but I wanted to let you see that. I'm finished, so I'm leaving. Same idea. So is a coordinating conjunction joining the two sentences I'm finished and I'm leaving, and it needs a comma before it. Use a comma also with equal or coordinate adjectives. We talked about equal adjectives a little bit last year, and we'll talk about them a little bit more probably when we get to adjectives. But right now we're just doing commas. And these are adjectives that describe a noun in the same way. So I'm going to give you a few examples here. The long, skinny worm. Long and skinny are both talking about the shape or form of the worm. And so they're describing the worm in the same way. Therefore, they need the comma between them. You don't need to put a comma between two adjectives that describe a noun in different ways. A little wooden stool. I don't need a comma there because the word little talks about the size of the stool and the wooden talks about the material of the stool. So we don't need a comma there. Also, do not put a comma between an adjective and a compound noun, even if the compound noun is two words, even if the compound noun is an adjective and a noun, which I can't think of one at this moment, but I probably could have I thought about it. In this case, it says a hidden light switch. Light switch is your compound noun. Don't put a comma between the adjective and the compound noun. Finally, the handsome, intelligent young college student. Sometimes you might have a string of adjectives and you have to decide where commas go and where they do not go. Handsome and intelligent are both opinion adjectives. They're what the writer thinks of the student. And then young is age, and college is a nominative adjective, and it's also an adjective that says which student or what kind of student we're talking about. So the only ones that are equal or coordinate are handsome and intelligent. The other two describe the student in different ways, so they do not need commas between them. You also need commas for setting off dialogue. For example, oh no, he said, my mom's going to catch me. So if you have the attribution, he said, after what the person said, you need a comma within the quotations before the attribution. If you have the attribution before what the person said, then you need the comma with the attribution before the rest. And then she replied, comma, don't worry, comma, and she hung up. In this case, you have a sentence with the quotation in the middle, compound sentence. You still need that comma before the and, just like up here where I was talking about joining sentences with coordinating conjunctions, but make sure to put the comma inside the quotation marks. And then you need a comma with salutations and personal letters. Dear Grandma, comma. Dear Andre, comma. Okay? But not business letters. Okay, so if you're writing an application for a job, you have to write a letter maybe, or if you're writing to complain about something to the mayor, then these are business letters. And traditionally we don't use commas after the salutations of business letters, we use colons. But that differentiates personal and business. Closing of any letter. So whether it's personal or business, you would need to put a comma after the closing word or phrase, in this case, sincerely, comma, fulana. So I wrote fulana below sincerely because you do not write them on the same line. It goes beneath. And if you're typing, by the way, just a little aside, if you're typing, what you want to do is type sincerely, comma, skip down 3 or 4 lines, and then put fulana or whatever your name is. I don't think I have any students named fulana. But write your name, and then after you print it out, then you sign it between the sincerely and the typed out name. And then it says also you put a comma between city, state, or country. Dallas, comma, Texas, comma, USA. Tegucigalpa, comma, Honduras. New York, comma, New York. And between the day and the date and the year, so separating the parts of a time that we're talking about, Monday, comma, July 4th. So between the day and the date, and then between the date and the year, July 4th, comma, 1776. Okay, hopefully this will help you with your workbook pages that I'm assigning, and also it will help if you come to the meet. Please come so that you will be able to follow my directions on how to do the workbook pages. Happy writing!